Hi everybody. It's your girl Shelby, new mom. It's been a while. I'm sorry it's been so long, but I'm gonna try to give you guys an update, like a recap for the weeks that I haven't been vlogging, and also give you my birth story. But I'm gonna try to make it concise, but still give you guys all the details. I'm outside, so you're gonna hear the elements a little bit. Cars might come by me. Don't mind it. I'll try to talk louder if that happens. At 26 weeks, I believe that was my last video when I was admitted to the hospital, and we knew that we'd be staying there until the baby came. Now, I was on bed rest, so that means I could only get out of the bed to go to the bathroom and shower. So I thank God for my partner, my boyfriend Barnes, every day, because he was there with me every day. Still juggling work, making money for us, and still being at the hospital every day with me. So he took care of everything. I mean, getting my food, helping me get dressed. Just when I couldn't do anything, he was there to do it for me or with me. So I'm thankful for him. Um, it sucked to be on bed rest. I was there for about 7 weeks. 7 weeks. The goal was to keep me to 34 weeks and then induce so that she would come. We picked an induction date of May 6th with the hope that she would be born on May 7th, because 7 is our favorite number. But she had plans of her own. So on April 27th, I started having contractions. Now, the doctors told us that this was common. Your body's getting ready to give birth. So it's normal, Braxton Hicks. So as I was having these contractions, I was just kind of going through the motions, but not really thinking that anything was happening. So they told me to just time the contractions, and whenever I had 6 in an hour, to let them know. So I continued to have contractions all day. We kept track of them. But we weren't getting 6 in an hour. Sometimes it would be 3, sometimes it would be 4, sometimes it would be 5, but never 6. So around 9-10 o'clock, I ate my last meal. I took a shower. I did everything to get comfortable, and I got in the bed with Barnes, and he just was massaging me, helping me go through these contractions, because they started coming what seemed like every 10 minutes. So we were logging them in my phone, and finally he was like, babe, you've had like 10, and I mean, I can tell you when one is coming, because they're every 10 minutes exactly. I think you should call the nurse. So we called the nurse in. She came in, hooked me up to the monitor, and said, okay, we're going to monitor you for 30 minutes. So they hooked me up. I had my contractions. She came back in, and she was like, how many do you think you've had? And I was like, oh, about 3. She was like, no, you've had 6. And I was like, oh, well, I was only counting the really bad ones. She was like, no, that's not how this goes. So she was like, I think we should call the doctor now. So they called the doctor in. Mind you, it's about like, I don't know, 3 in the morning. So they call the doctor in. Doctor checks me out, does a vaginal exam where they check your cervix. I don't know why I just did that. That was so gross. But they check your cervix, and she was like, oh, you're about 3 centimeters. And then she turned her hand some way, and she was like, oh, no, you're 5 centimeters. This baby is coming now. So they're like, all right, we got to get you over to labor and delivery. I'm like, I'm still cooling. Like, it's still not really registering to me. Barnes is mad cool. Like, we're not all worked up. So I'm like, oh, can I take another shower? They're like, no. I'm like, can I use the bathroom? They're like, this is the last time. So I go in there, I'm leisurely, going to the bathroom, but I'm having contractions, so I'm like gripping stuff. It's crazy. So I go to the bathroom, I like brush my teeth a little bit, because I'm like, I know I'm not going to be able to do any of this, and I at least want my breath fresh. Mind you, I'm like mad at this point, because I realized my toes aren't painted. I didn't do a fresh shave. Like, it didn't look like Bushtown down there or anything, but it wasn't a fresh shave. So I'm like mad a little bit, like this is not how I intended it. My hair wasn't done. I think my hair was like this, I don't know, but it wasn't done the way I wanted it to. Like it totally was nothing like I planned. But I mean, she was ready to come, so that's what happens. So they wheel me over to labor and delivery. We get in there, and I'm just going through the contractions, and they kind of just leave me and Barnes in the room. And he's like holding my hand, massaging my shoulders, being really helpful, and this pain is excruciating. So they come back in about 2 more hours, and they're like, okay, you're about 6, almost 7. And at this point, I'm exhausted because, remind you, I've been laboring all day, but I didn't really know it. So I'm like tired. I haven't had any sleep since the day before. Barnes is tired. He hasn't had any sleep. And these contractions are crazy. Now, my birth plan was to go completely natural. And at this point, I'm just like, what do I do? I know that I can't continue on for 3.5, 4 more centimeters of this and be able to push properly, because I really didn't want to damage my cooch. And I had did a lot of research about how to push and all of that, so you don't tear or damage the goods. So I just look at Barnes, and at this point I had been like crying through my contractions, like they were hard at this point. So I'm like, baby, I know I wanted to do this natural, but I don't know if I can take much more of this and still like push her out. And he's like, baby, I don't know if I can keep watching you go through this. Like, I think you should get the epidural. So I get the epidural. And here's why I give you guys the tip. You can get an epidural and not be completely numb, because that was my fear. Like, I wanted to still experience childbirth, feel her coming out, be able to push, but I just needed to get a break, to like catch a wind, to compose myself. So what the anesthesiologist told me, and what my research had told me from my nurses, is if you get the initial dose of the epidural, it will take the edge off, but it's not going to numb you. So it will take the edge off of the contractions enough for you to still be able to rest a little bit, but still feel them, so you know when to push. So that's what I did. I got the initial epidural, but I did not give myself any more doses of it. I just got the initial, and I still felt the contractions. Honestly, it didn't give that much relief. So I don't know, maybe I would have been able to get through it completely without it, but it took enough of the edge off for me. So I'm glad I did it. For me, that was the right thing. So after I got my epidural, I was still feeling them. They were coming probably every 5 or 6 minutes. So I would say about an hour after my epidural, that's when the doctor was like, okay, you're like 9, almost 10, like you want to get ready to push. And at this point, I'm feeling pressure. I want to get her out. Like, that's what you feel. Like, you feel like, let's get this going. Like, I'm ready to be done with this. So I start pushing. And I remember what my nurses told me. You're going to want to push from your crotch. You're going to think that that's how you should do it. But really, you want to push from your butt. Almost like you're taking a poop. And it's hard because they only want you to push while you're contracting. So that's like a minute, right? But you constantly feel this pressure, like, yo, I need to get it out. So I start pushing. One push lasts a minute long, and I'm bearing down and I'm pushing. And then, okay, you take a break. Then another contraction comes, I'm pushing again. Pushing. Barnes is looking. He's holding one of my legs, but he's watching. So about my third push, he's like, baby, the head is right there. I see her hair. I'm like, oh my goodness. He's like, baby, you got to push really, really hard. So the next time I'm pushing really, really hard, I'm bearing down, and her head is like halfway out. So he's like, baby, you got to do it on this next one. push really, really hard. Get her out. Her head is there. She's halfway out. Like, push her out. So on the next one, I just bear down the whole time, and she's out. And it's such a relief, like, you almost don't even know she's out. But she came out. And before I could say, like, is she okay? I hear her little mousy squeak yell. It was like music to my ears, because I didn't have to ask, like, is she breathing? Is she okay? I just instantly heard her. So, you know, because she was premature and I had a rupture, they wanted to make sure she was okay. So they immediately took her to the side. You know, the pediatricians came in, took a look at her, and she was absolutely fine. She didn't need anything. So they cleaned her up a little bit and put her on me so I could do a little bit of skin to skin. We took a couple of pictures. We did a video. Barnes had a little bit of time with her to the side with the doctors. He cut the umbilical cord. It was just beautiful. Like, the active pushing was not that bad. Her coming out was not that bad. So I would definitely do it again. It was just a magical experience. And fellas, we need you there. I would not have been able to get through it without him coaching me through that moment. So on April 28th at 9:40 in the morning, Shelby Deanna Conaway was born. She was 4 pounds 9 ounces, 18 inches long, full head of hair, 10 fingers, 10 toes, 2 hands, 2 legs, 2 feet. Beautiful baby girl. And I'm a mom, and Barnes is a dad again. It was really a beautiful experience. My entire pregnancy was nothing like I planned. My birth was nothing like I planned, but I wouldn't want it any other way. So there you go. There's my birth story. Probably my next video, I'll do a video with baby Shelby. I know you guys want to see her. I will make sure to do that. Thank you guys so much for following along with our journey. Thank you to everybody that sent us a gift, sent us gift cards. We really appreciate it. I mean, I've been out of work for a long time, my entire pregnancy just about, so it's really been stressful on Barnes to, you know, try to make everything happen for us. So we appreciate all of the blessings, all of the emails, the text messages, the calls. Thank you so much, everybody that shared our welcome on Facebook, on Instagram. We really appreciate you guys. I'm gonna try my best. I know I continue to say this, but pray for me to do more videos. I'm gonna talk about breastfeeding, because I'm doing that, and I got a lot to say about that, and everything about being a new mom. So this was our birth story. Leave comments, please subscribe so you can get all the videos, and leave me some comments about what you want to see me do videos on, and I'll make sure I do those. All right, bye.